In 1988, a Catholic bishop consecrated 4 new bishops without the Pope's approval. Rome responded immediately. Automatic excommunication. His name was Marcel Lefebvre, and most summaries stop right there. They call him a rebel and move on. But that label skips almost 20 years of context. Let's fix that. Lefebvre was a respected French archbishop. He served as a missionary in Africa for decades. He held real authority inside the church, including a major leadership role in a missionary order. In the 1960s, he attended the Second Vatican Council. This was a major series of meetings that introduced significant changes to Catholic practice. One of the biggest changes came in 1969 and 1970. The Mass was restructured. This new form became known as the Novus Ordo, meaning new order. Lefebvre's objection wasn't about disliking change in general. His specific concern was continuity. He believed the new Mass moved away from centuries of established liturgical language and structure. He pointed to differences in wording, emphasis, and ritual gestures compared to the previous form. In 1970, he founded a group called the Society of St. Pius X. The initials are SSPX. At first, this wasn't framed as rebellion. It started as a seminary, a place to train priests using the older liturgical tradition, the one used before 1969. For several years, this existed with some level of local church approval. Tension grew slowly, not instantly. Lefebvre continued ordaining priests in the older rite. Rome grew increasingly concerned about this continuing without full approval. By the late 1970s and into the 1980s, formal warnings were issued. Lefebvre argued he was preserving tradition. Rome argued he was operating outside proper church authority. The breaking point came in 1988. Lefebvre was in his 80s. He believed the traditional priesthood needed bishops to continue after his death, to ensure ordinations could still happen. Without receiving papal permission, he consecrated 4 bishops in Switzerland. Under church law, this specific action carries an automatic penalty. Both Lefebvre and the newly consecrated bishops were excommunicated that same day. Lefebvre died in 1991. SSPX continued as an independent traditionalist organization operating outside the normal governing structure of the Catholic Church. For decades afterward, the relationship between SSPX and Rome remained unresolved. There were periods of dialogue. There were also periods of tension. In 2009, one of the excommunications was formally lifted. Discussions between SSPX and church leadership have continued in the years since, with varying levels of progress. So here's the real question underneath this entire story. Was this a rejection of church authority? Or was it an attempt to preserve something Lefebvre believed the church itself was moving away from? Both readings exist. Both are argued seriously, even today, by people who study this history closely. That's very different from a simple label like rebel. This is a story about liturgy, authority, and how institutions handle major internal change. So, I want to hear from you. Based on what you just heard, how would you personally interpret Lefebvre's decision? Drop your perspective in the comments. Let's discuss this properly based on facts, not headlines. And if this kind of detailed church history interests you, stay close. There's more like this coming.